Hey everyone, this is Walter, and I'm back with something I keep saying I'll do and then not doing it. Russell Greer is a man mostly known for suing Taylor Swift in what can only be referred to as one of the OG lawsuits. Thankfully, Russell wrote an entire book about miserably failing to sue her. So let's get back into it with Russell Greer's book, Why I Sued Taylor Swift. Let's start by reading an obituary that trolls recently posted about Russell. I'm assuming he's still around at least. His facial condition has hilariously been edited out. Personal note from Russell's many devoted friends. Russell's work as a composer and filmmaker was an inspiration to us all, as was his tireless activism in support of the disabled community. Tragically, Russell recently passed away due to complications of Mobius syndrome, and as a result of inadequate care by biased doctors. His plight shall not soon be forgotten. I had to confirm this, but Mobius syndrome only affects the facial muscles, and so generally it doesn't kill people. Russell's obituary. Russell Greer, a disabled songwriter, paralegal, and activist, passed away, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and creativity. Born with a facial disability, Russell faced numerous challenges throughout his life, but remained undeterred in his pursuits. He earned a paralegal degree and was preparing to attend law school, demonstrating his commitment to advocacy and justice. Russell's passion for music led him to write and produce several songs, aiming to inspire and promote body positivity. His debut album, Songs from My Disabled Life, was set to release in July 2025, reflecting his dedication to sharing his experiences and uplifting others through his art. Beyond his artistic endeavors, Russell was an outspoken advocate for disability rights, striving to raise awareness and foster inclusivity. His determination to overcome adversity and his unwavering commitment to his goals serve as an inspiration to all who knew him. Russell Greer's life reminds us of the power of perseverance and the impact one individual can have on the world. I have to admit, Russell does have a determination to overcome adversity, even if his behavior is the cause of most of his adversity. It's crazy to me that he'll work his ass off for 6 months and then spend the money in 2 hours, regardless of what he's spending it on. Taylor Swift says, Russell Greer sued many people in fun and interesting ways. I only knew a few people who could accomplish that, and Russell Greer was the best at it. Huge fan. Okay, so back to the book. Last time Russell had just filed a small claims court case against Taylor Swift. This is supposed to be non-fiction, but it's going to get a lot crazier here. Because I was on my lunch break, I was in a rush to get everything done in my allotted 1 hour. Sensing that the lawsuit could potentially not clearly emphasize what I was doing, I decided to record a quick video of myself explaining what I hoped to achieve with this lawsuit and what I was trying to get Taylor to see. Sitting down on a bench outside of the building I worked in, I proceeded to film myself on the phone. Having never considered myself to be photogenic, taking a video of myself was a little nerve-wracking. Sending this video to a famous celebrity / my celebrity crush and her agents, though, made the hairs on the back of my neck stand straight up. Lifting the phone to my face, I proceeded to record myself. Good afternoon, Taylor and your agents, I nervously said into the phone. My name is Russell Greer. Through awkward pauses and some mumbles, I explained that I had filed the lawsuit against Taylor Swift because I had suffered harm at the hands of her agents. To ensure that I didn't sound crazy, I explained the concept of vicarious liability for why I had sued her. My god, I think it's a little too late to not sound crazy at this point. He's suing someone who has never done anything to him, never even heard of him. Obviously not how small claims court's supposed to be used. Just then a coworker walked by and overheard my video. I gulped as my coworker watched me, and then she proceeded to walk away. I had already been fired once because of my Taylor Swift wooing efforts. I didn't want to include my insurance company in this. Flustered from having my coworker overhear me, I became tongue-tied. Look, Taylor, I said with determination as I looked into my phone's camera. I sue you to show that I care. I know that sounds weird, but with everything I've explained to you, I had no other way. I worked so hard on this, and I just ask that you please give my efforts and I the same consideration you have given others. The dream is that you see my talents and the song I wrote about you, and that you let me do a song with you. If that can't happen, then maybe you and I could go to dinner. Like a date. I don't know. Just something to equal the effort I put into this. Just consider this at least. I hope to hear from you. With a twitching thumb, I ended the video and attached it to an email that was soon sent to her agents. Not satisfied with the video that I sent, I recorded myself again later that night. To show that I had a sense of humor and that I wasn't a complete weirdo, I'm only a slight weirdo. I air guitared to a rock song, jumping up and down, twisting and turning, showing that I was a happy, decent guy who wanted no trouble with Taylor or her agents. As I sat and explained myself in my video, I cried. With very real tears streaming down my face, I let Taylor know how much she meant to me. I apologized for suing her and asked that she please work out the problem. I explained that my damages were very real. Taylor, I just want fairness and equality, I told her in my video. At least consider. The video was 30 minutes long. Raising my right hand, I told Taylor, I love you in American Sign Language before I ended the video. The video was then put on unlisted mode, so that I knew when Taylor and her agents viewed the video. With a click of the computer mouse, my message was sent. My pleas had to work. My faith rested on Taylor Swift to fix this situation. Yes, I know how weird that sounds, but desperate times can make for weird situations. I didn't want my efforts and the harassment I had gone through to be in vain. He's like, oh, I don't want to look like a weirdo. I guess I'll just send a video of myself crying and saying I love her. Like, did he really think this is the way to show her that he wasn't a crazy stalker? Days passed by and I would anxiously check my phone and my email to see if Taylor had reached out to me. The 2 unlisted videos that had been sent to them had 20 views. It was very doubtful that her agents had viewed the videos 20 times. Taylor had to have seen them. To ensure that Taylor would see the videos were also emailed to Scott and Austin Swift. Regardless, people who had the links to the videos were watching them. My heart yearned so longingly for Taylor to right this wrong. And as a side note, I include that redundancy on purpose, to illustrate how bad I wanted this to work out. As a further side note, if they're called side notes, shouldn't these notes be written on the side of the pages vertically? Get it? Excuse the smell, I just cracked a funny. My fucking god, I am dead. That wasn't even a joke. What's the deal with side notes? They're not really on the side, right? I feel like Jerry would throw that one out. Well, here we go. We're about to be introduced to the main antagonist of the book. Unless you consider Taylor Swift to be the main antagonist. Russell might. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Salt Lake City, a middle-aged lawyer with perfectly combed blonde hair, clothed in a $1,000 suit, wearing dress shoes so polished, one could see his or her own reflection in the shoes, paced back and forth with his index finger in the air, defending a rich man on trial for rape. This attorney was John Smith, the most high-priced, albeit infamous, attorney in all of Utah. Mr. Smith had a legendary reputation for being known as the lawyer who never lost a court case. Smith was a shark and was willing to bend ethical, legal, and moral boundaries to win his cases. He didn't represent just any clients, he only represented the elite and the wealthy, government officials, politicians, athletes, etc. He was also no stranger to the camera either. He basked in the media spotlight and was frequently on local news channels. Needless to say, Mr. Smith was somebody not to mess with. I do like the creativity here. Russell couldn't use the name of the actual attorney for legal reasons, so of course the best he could come up with was John Smith. So how do you know my client raped Molly May? John Smith fiercely questioned a female witness. Did you see it with your own 2 little eyes? No, sir, the female witness said softly, head bowed. No? John Smith screeched, approaching the witness. No? Then why are you acting as a witness? Before he became any more hostile, Smith turned and faced the jury. His demeanor changed from heated to holy. He was a brilliant showman, who could probably land a few gigs in movies if he really wanted to. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there is nothing here to support the allegations and charges against my client. I kindly ask for you to find my client not guilty. Minutes later, with the court trial adjourned for the day, Smith strided out of the courthouse, briefcase in his left hand, as his right hand waved at the many people who acknowledged him. The popular lawyer made his way down the concrete steps as his black limo waited for him. Smith's chauffeur, Dalton, greeted John Smith as he held the door open for the attorney. Smith climbed inside his limo, and then Dalton closed the door, proceeding to get into the driver's seat, driving Mr. Smith home. As the limo navigated through traffic, Mr. Smith received a phone call from his office to his car phone. Catherine, Smith greeted his secretary. What do you got? Hi, Mr. Smith, Catherine replied. You have a call from Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, really? Smith surprisingly said. Transfer it through. After a few seconds, a beeping signal was made, signaling that Smith was connected to the caller. You've got John, Smith greeted. Mr. Smith, good afternoon, the caller said. My name is Jay Shoddies, and I am one of the managers for Taylor Swift, the internationally famous artist. We have a situation there in Utah involving a man named... Russell Greer. I can only assume he's making up 100% of this scene because he wasn't there. He even invented a high-class chauffeur for him. Ken already mentioned this earlier, but I'm still confused about how jurisdiction's supposed to work here. He's going to drag her to Utah? Just as soon as the sun had risen, the night quickly came, and I was unaware of the fact that famous people were conspiring against me. Conspiring against him? So if you sue someone and they call a lawyer, that's conspiring. Sure. As my head rested against my pillow, my dreams instantly transported me back to the same insane castle dream / Tripoli allegory I had had weeks before. It was a miracle that I could return back to or remember said dream, as I usually forget the dreams I dream about. But like many health professionals say, our dreams are composed of the things that worry us. Taylor Swift was definitely consuming my mind. She's a cutie, and I thought she was nice and that she would fix this, so can you blame me? Back in my dream, I slowly stood up, muddy and bloody. Jay and Robert guarded the gate to the castle like hawks. I had to create a diversion to get past them. Since I was in a dream, I figured I would just dream up a distraction. With great effort, I closed my eyes tightly and made painful gasping noises, trying to get a bazooka to appear in my hands. So I pulled the oldest distraction in the book. "Hey agents," I shouted. "Look behind you. Calvin Harris is taking a leak in the Lemonade River." The agents turned around, falling for the mother of all distractions. Like a super agent, I ran at the gate and instantly climbed up it. Taylor's agents turned back around. They quickly closed their eyes and imagined large machine guns. Before I could ask how they did that with their imaginations, they opened fire. Thousands of bullets erupted from their machine guns and came at me. Quickly, I dropped and dodged the bullets that flew into the walls and structures around me. I mean, this was written in 2017? Might as well rip off The Matrix. It was very topical. It was like I was in an action movie. I scaled and ran on top of the walls, making it towards the tower that Taylor Swift was in. Different bros and dudes and bosses came at me. I fought them off, knocking some off the walls. A few of Taylor's ripped background dancers ran at me, doing somersaults and cartwheels. One dancer tried tripping me with his breakdancing moves. I just jumped over him as he continued to flop around on the floor like a fish. As if I was following a GPS in my head, I ran directly up the stairs, and leading to the tower that Taylor was in, I busted the wood door down, knocking it off its hinges. Taylor dropped her guitar, startled. "Taylor, toss me your hair," I shouted majestically. "Huh?" she replied. "Nah, just joking," I teased as I was making a Rapunzel joke. With a serious look, I straightened my messy hair and wiped the blood from my nose. The sheet music was still in my hand, not damaged at all. I made my way towards Taylor Swift. The good book says, "By their fruits ye shall know them." Taylor, this is my fruit right here. I know you've had a rough few years, but you don't need to worry anymore. I'm not going to hurt you. This proves that I care about you. Taylor's face became overjoyed. Widely, I opened up my arms, and Taylor ran at me in slow motion, with her arms open. Epic orchestral music began to play. Even though she was taller than me by a few inches, I'm 5'8", she's 5'11". She jumped into my arms and we began to make out. Her legs wrapped around me as I held her in my arms. Trust me, even though my face is paralyzed, I'm one of the best kissers you'll ever meet. My hands rubbed up and down her back. She played with my brown hair, curling it with her fingers. The music suddenly changed into a blaring alarm. Taylor and I both looked at the surround sound system as we grimaced. We looked at each other and then the dream ended. I awoke and swore at my phone. I was getting to the best part, I shouted as I turned off the alarm. For anyone who has ever worked a full-time job, you probably know the déjà vu feeling of waking up at the same time every morning, seeing the same people on your daily commute, doing the same tasks at work. It can be physically and emotionally draining. Add in stresses from other areas of life, and it can be a bit too much at times. That's how I was feeling. I guess that's why I put in so much effort with Taylor, to have her get me out of my daily life and help me be so much more. All I wanted was her consideration at the very least. If she didn't want to, I at least wanted respect and thanks from her. As repeated many times in this book, her representations portrayed herself as this kind of person. It wasn't a wacky illusion in my head, nor was I under the influence of any substances. I truly relied on her representations and stunts. I have no idea why he didn't see through Taylor Swift's public image. It's very fake, but I guess he really wanted it to be real. But my illusions of her soon became apparent disillusions when I received an email from a person whom I did not know. It was from John Smith's secretary, Catherine. The subject line read, "Motion to dismiss." My heart raced as I opened the email. Attached to the email was the PDF document to dismiss my lawsuit against Taylor Swift. I felt that maybe Taylor was going to dismiss the case and work something out with me as planned. But when I opened up the electronic document on my phone, it was written very rudely. There was a nasty tone in the voice inflection. Smith wrote that the Swifts and Taylor's agents were perturbed by me. They were uncomfortable. They thought of me as invasive and that I had gone to troubling levels. I couldn't believe what I was reading. It was blatant slander. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Things are not going very well for our hero here, and I think next time he'll start being attacked by angry Swifties or something. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about Russell's love quest, let me hear it in the comments. I don't get a lot of views on these, so positive comments make me want to cover it more often. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I just hit 26k. At this rate, I'll get 27 in another decade, huh? And finally, big thanks to my awesome patrons who help by supporting me more directly over on Patreon. It really helps out. Have a great day, everyone. And don't do anything Russell would do.